What can you do right now to stay focused, improve your process, and grow your business? Find out this and more with Top Producer Roundtable, hosted by Gibran Nicholas, CEO of CMPS Institute.
Welcome to the Top Producer Roundtable show, produced exclusively for Mortgage News Network. My name is Gibran Nicholas, and I'll be your host as we learn best practices from some of the top producing loan originators from all over the country. In fact, you can view many of these loan originators live at an upcoming Top Producer Roundtable event. Just look at the information at the bottom of your screen for the upcoming dates and locations.
So I have with me today a special guest, Chris Nooney, out of the Houston, Texas market. Chris has some really good ideas when it comes to handling borrower objections. So welcome to our Top Producer show today, Chris.
Gibran, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Well, tell us a little bit about what are the top 2 or 3 objections that you find that borrowers generally have, and how do you handle those?
I can tell you that from an originator standpoint, the top objection that every loan officer is going to hear, no matter how much business you do or how good you are, is going to be rate. Second, I think, would be the amount of documentation or people not wanting to provide paperwork. But let's go ahead and touch on the rate component, because that seems to be the hot spot for most originators. Typically with loan officers, they want to be competitive, and a lot of consumers only know what they've been told and taught by their parents, grandparents, their coworkers, or the gospel of Google. What does 1/8% in rate equate to on $200,000 loan, payment-wise?
Not much. It's like probably, $12 a month?
About $12 a month on a pre-tax basis, right? Not an after-tax basis. So, a simple close to use on a borrower, or a simple discussion, is to take it down to their level. And here's typically what I do. I ask people if they go out to eat every single month. Most people will say yes, right? And Gibran, I'll ask you, how much do you spend on a monthly basis going out to eat?
Probably a couple $100.
Okay, so average family is going to spend a couple $100, right? So do you tip a waiter?
Yes.
How much do you typically tip a waiter?
About 20% of the couple $100.
So basically what you're saying is you spend $200 a month, you'll tip 20%, which is what, $16?
$40.
Or $40, that's right. So you tip people $40 a month to bring you food that you're never going to see again, but you're concerned about $12 a month in payment, and the difference between having a commoditized internet lender do your loan or having a certified mortgage planner manage your mortgage over the life of the loan. So when you break it down to people on that level, they get it. The light bulb comes on. And then rate gets taken out of the equation. The consumer comes in with their gloves up, just like a boxing match, right? As soon as that first round, or as soon as the bell dings, they come in. What's the first thing they do? They've got their gloves up, right? You have to be able to get past that and get those gloves to come down where you're able to establish trust. So rate no longer becomes a component or a factor. Yes, it's important, but it's a small part of the equation if you're financing the house incorrectly. Fair, is that a fair statement?
So really what you're doing is you're changing the conversation. You're redirecting the conversation, and you're showing the borrower by asking them questions and engaging in dialogue that, listen, what you think is really important may not be as important as you think it is. And what you're not looking at, which is the total cost of the loan over its life or over your holding period, that's really what matters the most. And that's where you're redirecting the conversation, and that's how you're handling the rate objection.
Gibran, I ask every one of my clients this exact question. Do you have a doctor that you deal with? Most of them say yes. Do you have a dentist that you deal with? Yes. Do you have a CPA? Yes. Do you have a financial advisor? Most of them do. And then I ask them what the largest liability is that they have. And what do they all say? My mortgage, right?
Right.
So I ask, who manages that? And the perplexed look on their faces, it's, I don't want to say that it's comical, but it's, oh, I never thought about it that way. So, people are making decisions on what they were never taught in high school and college. And let's face it, high school and college didn't teach us how to maintain good credit, what non-qualified debts were, how to look at college savings, investment, retirement, and then use the mortgage as a financial instrument or financial vehicle. It didn't teach us how to do that. Unfortunately, society has taught us how to do that, and we wonder why the country's so screwed up.
Right. So what I really like about what you're saying is you're really engaging the client in dialogue. You're asking them questions, and the process of doing that, it's almost like I went to law school many years ago, and one of the things they teach you in law school is a trial lawyer never really asks a question to which he doesn't already know
the answer.
And so what you're doing is you're directing the conversation in a way where you're getting the borrower to sort of come to their own conclusion. So instead of like projecting your view of the world on them and preaching to them about why they ought to consider working with you, you're sort of asking them questions, leading them to their own conclusion, so that a light bulb goes up in their head and says, gosh, I really ought to be working with you because you're opening my eyes to so many new things that I haven't really thought about before. And then this engages them, and it provides really a basis for which they can now begin trusting you with the largest debt of their life. I very much appreciate your taking the time today to share some of these invaluable scripts. It must be that the Texas culture over there that allows you to come up with all these metaphors and unique scripts. If any of you viewers really would like to hear Chris share more about some of his scripts and ideas and how to handle objections and really walk borrowers through the mortgage process of today, check us out. We're at topproducerroundtable.com. Chris will be joining us on the national tour here of some of the top producing loan originators in the country, sharing with you their best practices. So thanks again, Chris. Appreciate your taking the time out of your day to share with us some insights today.
Thank you, Gibran. Glad to help.
Top Producer Roundtable airs every Tuesday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time and can be viewed on MortgageNewsNetwork.com.
Oh my gosh.
This is Mortgage News Network.